to One-on-One with Colette Linden. Today we're here with Gideon Down. Hi.
Hi, Colette.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Welcome. Thank you for coming into the studio today.
It's my pleasure.
Congratulations on your race to become a councillor of Sault Ste. Marie. I'm going to take a little minute. Tell me a few things about yourself, Gideon.
Well, I lived here in Sault Ste. Marie since I got married in 2003, and yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I've also had meningitis, so sometimes my memory isn't as good as it has been in the past. But and worked at the tube mill. I started there for a year and a half, and then transitioned over to Algoma Steel, and currently an electrician there. So that's as far as my working career goes. That's where I've been.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as what you want to see for the city, tell me why you chose to say, you know what, 2022 municipal elections here, I'm going to put my name in to become a councillor for my ward. What were some reasons that you stood behind?
Well, I don't know that the representation is there. Like I represent the working class. I've been doing that since I was old enough, and I started on a farm at 8 years old. So I don't think that the working class has a good representation, and they're the ones who are voting for a representation. Taxes, services, rural living, all of that stuff. It's all issues that for my ward are pretty important. We have lots of retirees. We have people who are the working class, and they need to have good representation.
Yes.
I think sometimes it's good to see some development and newer infrastructure, but some of these things come at costs that right now at least we can't afford to have. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so what are some things in your ward specifically when you're going door to door and introducing yourself, and I'm sure they know who you are if you lived in the area for a while. What's some of the feedback you've been receiving from your ward? The common ones, I think, that I don't know that we'd be able to fix at the municipal level. Groceries, inflation, gas, taxes, all of these things. We also have, relatively high crime rates compared to other areas. We have the opioid crisis. I know myself, I see ambulances driving by multiple times a day that didn't seem to be as frequent prior to the pandemic. So these are all things that they've brought up as issues. Yes, and valid issues for sure. Yeah. We do notice that too. We hear a lot of sirens going off. Actually, my youngest one just said that the other day, so I do appreciate that. Okay, so if you look at the city as it was today, and you've been here for a while, what year?
2003.
Okay, what are some differences you've seen between 2003 to today? That good or bad? I'm just looking for your opinion.
I don't know. I mean, as far as the specifics, definitely the crime, definitely the opioid crisis. Yeah. I know my taxes when I moved in, I started on Prentice Avenue. Taxes were very reasonable at that point in time. And I know my neighbors, when I went through there again last week, taxes have gone up by, for them, close to 50%. We have some of these, I did quickly look up that, the increase in taxes from last year, it was 3.8% for residential, and then industrial was only 1.6. So I thought that was kind of interesting. As to, how the taxes are being paid by people, and, just making sure everybody's doing their fair share in our municipality in these different areas, I think is important. Obviously, maintaining services, people still need, health care. I was kind of disappointed to hear about the doctor's building a little bit outside of my ward, but, as far as power getting shut off and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that rely on those kinds of services, so I think it's important to support those and try to maintain those as best we can.
Absolutely. Now, there's a lot of infrastructure already in place here in the Soo, whether it be buildings who have been up for rent or for sale for quite some time, and perhaps we can start utilizing those already sustainable infrastructure that we have and create something from it. So what do you think, if you're elected in, what are some things that you want to talk about right away? I mean, you work for the steel plant, is there some issues you bring from the steel plant? But yes, you are representing your ward, but you're also representing the city as well.
So some of the ones that have come up more recently have been like affordable housing. That's important. Topics on lower to middle income, which I also am a part of in that group. And I think it would be interesting to see, I know my house is a modular house, maybe going forward looking at some sort of a plant that could facilitate building, like the area that we're situated in Sault Ste. Marie. You got logging industry, steel industry, a lot of infrastructure here that would be awesome to see. Maybe a modular house factory, as opposed to strictly heavy industrial. Maybe incorporating and covering a couple different issues in one, being able to build affordable housing here in the Sioux, and then maybe expand out into supplying it for Ontario or US or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Very good idea. Is there anything else you'd like to share today, Gideon? Before we have to end our interview, and again, I want to thank you for taking the time to come in here and for all your efforts of working the steel plant. But is there anything else you'd like to discuss today?
I'm looking forward to meeting people. I've been doing that, through the last couple of weeks, and I hope to continue doing that, obviously, around my job, which is not a part-time one. So,
yes.
I think the people in the area there, in the ward, they're all hardworking. They worked for what they have, and making sure that they keep as much of that as possible going through. Whether it's taxing or even just being able to get back and forth to work and all of this stuff. I think it's important at our levels we can start there. There's other levels that need to do their part as well, which I'm not a part of, but just making sure that we're getting them the best bang for their buck.
Absolutely, and there's a very much big push on making all levels of government work together in order to our city to receive these services. So I do wish you all the success in the world. We're following your campaign, and we'll be watching in October.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here. That's all the time we have for today for One-on-One with Colette Linden. Have a great day.